The war in Ukraine has just escalated to a new level of fury. In one of the largest air attacks, a swarm of Russian missiles and drones rained down in cities across Ukraine. And this ferocious assault has come even as the world is grasping for some kind of fragile peace, highlighting the deepening chasm between rhetoric and reality. Take a look.
Ukraine woke to fire and thunder. Explosions shook cities across the map as Russia launched one of its largest aerial attacks in the war. Over 600 drones and missiles tearing through the night sky. Air raid sirens screamed nationwide. Ukraine's Air Force says Moscow fired 574 drones and 40 missiles. Critical infrastructure was hit. In Rivne Oblast, a US-owned factory was struck, leaving multiple injured. President Zelensky says everyday household items such as coffee machines were made there. The surge comes as Russian troops march along the southern front near Zaporizhia. Zelensky warns of a looming escalation with Russia deploying thousands of new troops. The south, already scarred by relentless fighting, could be the next flashpoint. But the battle is no longer just military, it's diplomatic too. Moscow accuses Kyiv of refusing serious peace talks, saying Ukraine's security demands are incompatible with Russia's terms. Russia insists that European troops in Ukraine are unacceptable.
As discussions between the West and Ukraine currently show, all these plans are essentially about providing guarantees for intervention, foreign military intervention, in some part of Ukrainian territory. This would be absolutely unacceptable for the Russian Federation and to all rational political forces in Europe.
Washington's stance too seems to be shifting. US Vice President J.D. Vance declared that Europe must bear the lion's share of Ukraine's security burden. His comments sparked unease across Europe, especially in Germany, where talk of boots on the ground has already rattled nerves. 3 years into this war, the stakes are only climbing. Russia shows no signs of slowing its assault. Ukraine, bloodied but defiant, scrambles to hold the line. A fragile balance teeters on the edge between survival, collapse, and the faint hope of peace. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
All right, now joining us on the broadcast from Washington, D.C., we've got Mr. John Erath, who's a Senior Policy Director for the Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation in Washington. Mr. Erath, this of course is the big question. You know, Volodymyr Zelenskiy in his meeting with Donald Trump clearly indicated that he is ready for a peace deal, but Russia since then has still been escalating its attacks. In your assessment, do you think Vladimir Putin and Russia are ready for a peace deal?
I think the two sides are as far apart as ever. The conditions for peace just have not been met. Ukraine does not want Russian troops occupying parts of its territory. Russia is going to insist on recognition, international recognition of some of its territorial gains. That just does not set up the grounds for a workable peace agreement. The other issues, the presence of peacekeeping forces or security guarantees, are also very difficult, but they don't get at that fundamental question that is separating the two sides.
Now, the Russians have said that any NATO or European troops in a buffer zone between Russia and Ukraine as peacekeepers is not acceptable to them. Now, Ukraine wants security guarantees. So the question is this: what security guarantees will satisfy Ukraine, and what security guarantees for Ukraine do you think will be okay with Russia?
As for Ukraine, it's more than just the security guarantees. They want to know that their country is going to continue to be independent, it's going to be able to run its own foreign policy, and it's going to be able to have control of its internationally recognized borders. Security guarantees are a way of providing assurance once those other points have been worked out, but they are not in themselves sufficient to get Ukraine to agree to a peace agreement. With Russia, I think they're trying to push to see where there is some flexibility. The United States has already pulled back its the President Trump's words that U.S. forces might participate in an Article 5-like situation. Then 3 days later, it's U.S. forces will not be doing any peacekeeping. So I think this is a push to see if the same flexible approach is on the European side as well. Will they really want to participate in these security guarantees?
All right, we'll have to see as to how this thing unfolds. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. John Erath, for joining us with that perspective then.
You're very welcome.